I'm Isabel.
Hi, I'm Alyssa.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Hi, I'm Oliver, and our sustainable development goal is life on land.
Ali Puncha!
This idea focuses on protecting, restoring, and promoting sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably managed forests, combating desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss.
We landed on June 24th in Quito, Ecuador, and stayed the night in an airport hotel. We slept through the night and headed up before sunrise for an 11-hour bus ride. After a spontaneous night in a Coca hostel, we took a 2-hour speedboat trip, 15-minute hike, and an hour canoe ride before we arrived in the Sani camp. Along the boat ride, we saw signs of oil extraction. There were multiple barges with oil tankers and clear-cut patches along the Napo River. As we traveled closer to Yasuni National Park, the trees grew taller around us, and signs of human impact decreased.
Ali!
Welcome to Yasuni National Park.
Soon after we paddled into camp, we got settled in our tents for the week and headed out on our first surveys. Throughout the week, we would get to know the biologists and members of the Sani community who were living with us. It was a remarkable setting to learn about the threats facing this beautiful ecosystem and just how important our SDG is. During our time in camp, we would hear troops of howler monkeys while macaws glided over us and venomous spiders relaxed in the roofs above us. It was an amazing setting to tune out our lives in Minnesota and connect with another part of the world. We also heard from the staff at the camp about the threats facing the very wildlife we were enjoying and about the pressure oil companies placed on the local communities to clear and drill their land.
Throughout the Amazon rainforest, oil companies offer huge sums of money and modern amenities to locals to be able to look for oil on their land. While visiting the community, we even saw signs of crediting different buildings to oil companies. These incentives make it difficult for locals to turn down offers. We learned that the best way to preserve many of these treasured lands is to give locals a way to make money off their land without selling it to oil companies. By using ecotourism, running a lodge, selling coffee, bracelets, and chocolate on their land, the Sani people have created an alternate income and resisted oil companies' efforts. The Sani community has provided an excellent example for other indigenous people to follow for resisting oil companies in the future.
After saying some sad goodbyes to the scientists and local guides who we'd grown to know quite well, we did our whole trip in reverse, arriving quite late in Quito. The next morning, we flew to Baltra Island in the Galapagos to begin the second leg of our trip. We took buses to a ferry which docked in Santa Cruz. Already getting our first taste of the island, we had blue-footed boobies and endemic Galapagos land iguanas on the ferry over. We then boarded another bus driving into the highlands of Santa Cruz. As the terrain zipped by our windows and we climbed higher and higher, we could see the dry desert scrub transforming into a lush moss-covering cloudy forest. We got to see reintroduced wild tortoises on the drive up. We were surprised to see how much of a human impact there was on the islands. There were farms with introduced plants and grazing cattle all along the way, as well as entire towns and a major port. After driving across the island, we pulled into our first accommodation, a fully functioning farm with tents pitched in an old stable, Highland View Camp.
We spent our time in the Galapagos split between Puerto Ayora and the Highland View Camp. We did a variety of practicals, learning about the history, geology, botany, and marine life of the islands. We spent time kayaking, diving, snorkeling, hiking, and exploring lava tunnels. While walking along the roads, we gained a better understanding of the impact humans were having on this very sensitive and unique ecosystem. There were many dead native birds along the road that had been killed by cars, as well as iguanas lounging in the middle of town. The animals here never evolved a fear of large mammals and are extra susceptible to human encroachment. We were also surprised by the amount of trash along the roads and spent an afternoon trying to pick up as much as we could carry. The unique opportunity to view such a precious and vulnerable ecosystem helped us understand the immediate results of our actions, such as litter and roadkill, as well as the long-term effects, human encroachment, and urban development.
The diving and snorkeling in the Galapagos was my favorite part of the trip. I finally got to experience the marine life in the Galapagos after 2 weeks of studying the amazing terrestrial life.
The highlight of my trip was climbing the canopy tower. The tower gave us a unique view into the canopy and into an entirely different world from the dark forest floor below. We got to see new birds and troops of howler monkeys from atop an emergent tree.
My favorite part of the trip was the day we visited the community. On the walk to the community, I talked with our guide and taught him English while he taught me Quechua, which was their native language. At the community, we played soccer with some of the kids and gave them gifts from our home for welcoming us into their home, and that was very special.
I also love the diving day. My group got to see a family of orcas pass right in front of our boat, with the baby diving under us. This was quite fascinating given the fact you only see orcas in the Galapagos once every 5 years. We also got to see Rob Lowe as we were getting off the boat, so that was cool.
Overall, this was an adventure of a lifetime and a half, getting the opportunity to explore one of the most remote places on Earth, as well as one of the most unique ecosystems in the world. We are so thankful for the connections we made to the Sani community and its members. That was something that not many people will ever be able to replicate in their lives. The scientists throughout the whole trip were so amazing and taught us so much about the important aspects of wildlife.
Pagrachu!